Thank you, everybody, for joining our Globe Mission Mosquito, our 64th webinar. And my name's Cassie Sofang, and I'm with Globe Mission Mosquito and the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies. And I'm joined today by my colleagues, who I'll let introduce themselves, followed by our featured speaker in just a moment.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rusty Lowe. I am the lead scientist for NASA Globe Mission Mosquito and Mosquito Habitat Mapper. And I'm just so excited today about what is going to be presented by our guest speaker.
And hello, my name is Liz Burke. I live in Alaska, and I'm also part of this team working with IGES on the Globe Mission Mosquito.
And Beatrice, I'll let you give a shout out.
Well, hello everyone. I am Beatrice Oyange. I'm a Globe teacher from Shree Swaminarayan Academy, Kenya, actually in Africa. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to have all of us share our work as teachers in the classroom and outside. Karibu.
Thank you so much. I'd like to get started by sharing some exciting news about SciStarter, a SciStarter live event that we would encourage you to register. And I'll let Dr. Lowe give us a quick rundown of what will happen there.
Hey, thanks, Cassie. This is really exciting. SciStarter, for those of you who are not in the U.S., it is an organization that supports citizen science of all kinds. And the Globe Observer is a project which is promoted by this organization. And they have asked us to do a SciStarter live event about Globe mosquitoes. We are going to build we're going to build a mosquito trap. We're going to talk about mosquito data and how people can get involved. So if you're interested, the URL is there at below, and we would love to have you attend. Thank you.
Thanks, Rusty. And with that, we're going to jump right into our featured presentation today, Little Globe Voices, Science Inquiry with Elementary Children. And Beatrice was kind enough to share her presentation in a recorded video that I'll play in a moment for you. And there's an awful lot of great information and exciting things that everyone can do in their classroom. And Beatrice is online, and she will be able to answer any questions. If you have any during the presentation, please put them in the chat. I know that she'll be watching that too. Let me know if the audio is coming through as we start.
My name is Beatrice Oyange. I come from Kenya, and my country is in Africa. I am an elementary school teacher. I teach basically new maths and science. In our school, let me just show you where our school is found. This is the map of Africa, and we'll find Kenya at this corner here. The presentation is about the Little Globe Voices. This presentation emphasizes that Globe resources provide standardized approach for students to develop research skills, collaborate with other scientists, and share their findings globally. It focuses on the results of engaging young minds in research to discover their interests and potential career paths. It will also show how research empowers young learners to become informed and innovative contributors to the society. You can see there our little picture of our Little Globe Voices. These are the youngest children I have in my club. They are grade 4 students. You'll meet them in the coming slides. So Globe program is organized in terms of we carry it out as a club in our school. And we are glad to say that the enrollment has increased over the years. We registered Globe in our school in 2019. And in that year, we had 23 students. Right now, we have over 73 students. So that is running from the age of 8 and to the age of 18. Take note that we have about, that 73 makes about 10% of the students in the entire school. So our club engagements are always running around the topics that are put here. Sometimes you have trainings for students and teachers. That is depending on what we are covering in that term. If we want to carry out research on mosquitoes, we'll do training on the mosquito protocol. If you want to do something on land cover, we'll do training on the same. Again, another thing that we do, we have field visits for areas of study. We have community service and awareness programs, and we also have collaborations with other institutions so that we can get involved with the professionals to see if what we are doing is in line with what they are also doing. We compare notes and see where we are, and we are happy to report that most of the time we find ourselves in the right line, and this has really influenced our students. Well, I would love to say that the Globe resources have been helpful to our students, to our learning, and we have used quite a number of them in our teaching, in our day-to-day teaching in classrooms. We can see that from what we have here, we were teaching about the Earth as a system. And Earth as a system is a topic that is covered widely in the Globe resources. We also get storytelling with Globe. You see, look at my students here. These are my grade 4 students, and they were enjoying storytelling from an ebook that we found in the Globe resources. Hey, even in our daily curriculum, we're able to use the resources from Globe, where like when I was teaching up, this is just an example, when I was teaching about photosynthesis, I pick out the resources from Globe, then we are able to use it in our classrooms because Globe provides a number of activities which makes it very simple for our students to understand. As a teacher in charge of Globe and as the head of science department in my school, what I do is that I go through the resources, then I share with the science teachers the topics that are covered in the Globe resources that may be able to help them in their teaching. Well, the Globe Program Club engagements, like we said, we have trainings. We have trainings that is done with the teachers. From the first picture there, we can see Professor Rebecca Boga, who was training our teachers. All the science teachers, not only the Globe teachers are taught, all the science teachers go through the training of the Globe protocol so that they can be able to use them in their classes. We also carry out demonstrations. In our second picture here, we have students learning about how to use the hydrosphere kit. These are grade 4 students. What an opportunity. They're able to learn how to use the hydrosphere kit. They collect water from natural resources. They bring it to the lab and we are able to test them. And I can tell you that right now our students are good at using this kit. They were able to carry out one project which was sent for the IVSS 2023. And one of our previous projects that is for last year was on green balconies and terraces, where we had developed, decided to we're cutting the used plastic containers. We were painting them and planting trees, planting little small plants of them, not trees, sorry, planting small plants that can be put in the balconies. And so this is a project that has continued up to this year. You can see our students right here, they are transferring plants into the small containers, which we sell out to the members of the community so that they can put them in their balconies. We also have peer teaching that is done by our students. Once we get a student who has understood a particular protocol or is able to carry out a particular process, the children are allowed to share their knowledge, to learn from one another, which makes it much, much easier for all of them to learn. Data collection is another thing that is done within our club. The children are able to collect data. They're able to actually record their data, and they're able to share their findings with the school community and sometimes with even outside the school community. Field trips. I love field trips. This is the best part of our club. And I remember in one of the interviews that was done by the journalism club in our school, they asked the students why he joined a Globe Club. And the student was like, I just joined because of the field trips. Yes, they like field trips. They want to see the reality on the ground. When they go out and see that what they were learning theoretically is actually happening in the ground. From the first picture, we had visited Moroto. Moroto is an area that is a slum area. And during this time, we were actually carrying out a study on the land use change within Mombasa County. So the students walked around this area for the first time, and they're like, are people living in this place? How are they able to survive? This is an area where we only have one legal toilets. And it's an area where people are continuing to build and they're encroaching the land, they're building into the seashore. So through these projects, our students were able to identify 2 other projects that we did for IVSS 2023. That was they did the water quality from natural resources in Mombasa, and then they did the effects of poor waste management in the breeding of mosquitoes within this particular slum, how practical GLOBE is. In the second picture, we're actually studying the waste management in Mwakirunge dumping site. This is a legal dumping site in Mombasa, where all the waste is taken to this point. We can see there's burning going on. And we actually wanted to try to check out the effect of that burning to our environment. That will make our next project. We visited River Kombeni to collect water, which again, the students were checking out the quality of water in this particular river. Buxton Point was another place that we visited this year. It's an area that we visited when we were collecting data on land use change, where the government was actually upgrading the housing that were there before. Yeah. After we have done all the data collection, we have analyzed our data, and we always want to report our findings back to the community. So we carry out community awareness. Green balconies and terraces was one of the projects that was highly appreciated in our community. This is the second picture here. The parents came in during our science fair. They were able to listen to the students who shared their knowledge and what they had found out. And many parents bought our plants, which the money again has helped us in our club to do other projects. We have continued to sell plants each and every week. We sell plants to the community members. Presentation on identification of mosquito species. This is something that was very new to our community. You know, all of us just know that mosquitoes bite, and sometimes we know it's an anopheles mosquito that will cause malaria, and that's all we knew. But when we were able to interact with the GLOBE resources, we knew that we can be able to use lenses to be able to identify the mosquito larva. This project on identification of mosquito larva was carried out at a time when we had so many cases of chikungunya and dengue reported in our area. So when we did this project, we realized that we had Aedes mosquito, which was prevalent in our area. So we were able to tell the community that it's because of the Aedes mosquitoes which are breeding in our area that we are getting chikungunya and dengue. So what we did next is we carried out, according to check the third picture, we carried out community awareness, trying to explain to people why we have to make sure that we larvicide. We flip every empty container. We remove any kind of standing water so that we don't have Aedes breeding in our community. Since Aedes will bite during the day, it cannot be controlled by the mosquito nets that most of us are used to. During the night, mosquitoes will bite us during the day, in the classroom, when you're walking, when you're playing in the field. So the best thing is to make sure that we larvicide for a better future. A student, again, in picture 4, a student is trying to show the parents how to use the lenses to identify the mosquito larva. So we carry out community awareness to make sure we share out our findings with the community. We don't just want to do a project and leave it at that. What have we found out? What can we do with the community to make things better? We also have inter-school symposiums where we give out a topic that each school is supposed to work on. Then the topic is shared, we bring in as a competition where we share our findings together as a community. Science exhibition also make another great part of our awareness programs. This involves the entire school, and each class is given a topic to cover depending on the theme of the year. We do collaborate with other institutions so that we can meet the professionals to tell us, to make sure that we are on the right track. We compare our findings. In the picture 1, we had visited the Pwani University, and we were able to share with the Pwani students and the lecturers what we had found out, and they also guided us on how to make our study better. Second picture, our students visited the Coast Works, Waterworks to compare their findings on the water quality. They had already picked water, collected water from different parts from different sources. They checked the quality of water. And when we went for this particular visit to Coast Waterworks, we carried water from the sources to go and check again if what we had done was right. We also had a nice time visiting the hospital, to the sub-county hospital, which is the hospital that is found within the Moroto slum, where we were carrying out our projects for 2023 IVSS, effect of poor waste management within in the breeding of mosquitoes within the slum. So we visited Chuda sub-county hospital, and to confirm our findings, we realized that there were so many reported cases of dengue and chikungunya between January 2022 and February 2023, when we were actually carrying out the project. So this one confirmed that the Aedes mosquitoes were truly prevalent in Moroto slum. We also visited the Mombasa Governor's Office to discuss our findings on land use change when we were carrying out the project on land use change. We wanted to know what the government is planning to do with, especially we were really concerned about the waste management within our county. And we were also looking at the new developments that were coming up in our county. Well, at this point, I would like you to listen to Globe from the students' perspective. Our first students here, we have students from grade 7, Prayosha Budeo and Soraya 5th. Those are students who attended the Globe annual meeting 2022. Okay, just let them. Oh, sorry. Find it just a minute. Where did it go? Okay.
My name is Shree Swaminarayan and I'm 12 years old. Hello, my name is Prayosha Budeo and I'm 12 years old. And we have been Globe students since 2019. Globe has helped me understand the research methods and the world in depth. And through Globe, we have learned how to write reports on our own and look at the various protocols from pedosphere to atmosphere. Through Globe, through our 2022 annual meeting, we had a lot of fun. Made new friends, learned people around the world and how we made and we also made new projects with our new teammates. It was fun making friends with everyone and learning new things. And it was also good to see how everybody in the world comes together to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Wow, that is Soraya and Prayosha of grade 7. We now have Manal Gulam, our pioneer student. She was with us since the time we started Globe in 2019. And she has this to say.
Hello, my name is Manal. I'm a student from Shree Swaminarayan Academy, and I've been doing Globe since it first started in our school in 2019. Globe has been an amazing experience so far. It has helped me realize that I can take an active role in solving problems in our community by using the scientific method to come up with solutions. Globe has helped me gain skills such as writing a full research report and learning how to present my findings to the community. Globe has helped me gain international exposure by taking part in the annual IVSS. It has helped me make connections with other people, other students around the world. Globe has been amazing, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to take part in the Globe program. Thank you.
Wow. Well, Globe has really been helpful to us since we have been able to take part in the national space challenges. And for 2019, we attended our first RCMRD space challenge, and both teams, the junior team and the senior team, were first in the challenge. We had actually presented our projects on the mosquito. We were finding out the type of mosquitoes in our school, and that is what was done by both junior and senior. We were first. In 2022 again, in the project on urbanization and urban growth in Kenya, our team, both junior and senior, were rated first nationally. We are doing well internationally too. We have managed to become first in IVSS 2020, IVSS 2021, IVSS 2022, and IVSS 2023, Shree Swaminarayan, sorry, Shree Swaminarayan produced the best projects in Africa. So in 2020, we did identification of mosquito larva species within the school. In 2021, they did the NDVI project. In 2022, green balconies and terraces, a solution to climate change, my favorite project. And this year we had investigating the impact of mulching on soil. Now I'll take the last few minutes to talk about exploration of mosquito larvae at Shree Swaminarayan Academy. Sorry. We are really interested in identifying mosquito larvae within the Nyali area where our school is. And even outside Nyali, we are now interested in looking at what is happening outside Nyali within the entire Mombasa. We'd like to see the kinds of mosquito species that are found here. You know, Mombasa, Kenya lies within the tropics where the climate is favorable for breeding of mosquitoes. It is warm and humid, and this enables mosquitoes to thrive well. But we also have human activities like poor waste management, crowded living arrangements, which have highly contributed to increased mosquito breeding sites. Our pictures here will actually show you what is happening in some areas like Moroto Slum, where we previously said we carried a research. Moroto Slum is highly crowded, and this has provided many breeding sites for mosquitoes. And the most prevalent mosquito-borne diseases in Mombasa Coast region are chikungunya, dengue, and malaria. So students have been asking quite a number of questions, which I wanted to share with you. They're like, what types of mosquito species do we have around? What is their lifespan? They always want to know, how does the larva identification help in prevention of diseases? You know, you tell students we need to learn how to identify mosquito larvae, and they want to know, how will this help us? They also want to know the characteristics of larva species that we can use to identify them. And they want to know, where will we find this mosquito larva? So those are questions that we have tried to answer in our engagements with the students. So what we do first with the students is we carry out training. We have done a lot of training using the GLOBE protocols on the mosquito larva identification of the breeding sites. They're able to identify even the kind of diseases that are caused by these particular larvae that they identify. Once we have learned the protocol, then we set mosquito traps within the school first, so that the students can get the mosquito larva, which they then use to identify. They use the lenses to identify the mosquito larva species. The students will then sometimes we also visit other areas apart from the larva that we collect from school. We visit areas like the slum where we had poor waste management. We can collect the mosquitoes from those areas. From the bottles here, we are getting mosquitoes from the plastic bottles. And the boys here were getting the mosquito larva from the containers, which we had planted the flowers, which we sell to the parents. So these, again, are another area where we were able to collect mosquito larva. Once we identify the larva and we identify the diseases that they cause, we go back to find out if it's true that this kind of diseases have been reported in our hospital within the area where we find the larva. In future, we would like to carry out training for students who are not only from our school, because so far over the years, our concentration as GLOBE teachers have been within our school. So we feel that our students have been able to grasp enough, and we can use the knowledge that they have to reach out to other students, specifically in public schools, who have not been able to get this knowledge. So we are reaching out to students in the coming term. We'll be reaching out to students from Kilifi County. Our school is in Mombasa County, so we want to look at the next county, which is Kilifi County. We want to teach them how to be able to identify the breeding sites, how they can collect the larva and be able to identify the larva using the GLOBE Observer app. We also want to collect and share data from areas outside our county. We will be reaching out to Kwale County to see what kind of mosquitoes that are there, and students who travel will be giving them we will give them the lenses to travel with so that they can be able to identify even other mosquito larvae that are found in other areas that are not even within Mombasa. We want to organize inter-school symposiums where students will cover this academic year. We will specifically look at land cover, and Mosquito Habitat Mapper will be looking at that specifically next academic year. And then we will also carry community awareness campaigns. We are looking at working together with the governors in our two counties, the Kilifi County and Mombasa County, so that they can give us a platform to be able to share our findings with the people so that we can reduce the issues of mosquito breeding within our county. I would like to thank our principal, who has been very supportive to us. Our deputy head, junior, our principal is Anama Lazar. Our deputy head, junior, Mr. McDonald Tunje, has also been supportive. He gives us opportunity to do globe work and even to carry out the research, even when it's not time for our club. Our country coordinator, Mr. Charles Mwangi, has been supportive to us. When we need the equipment, he has been providing them and to us. Professor Suhail Hashim, the manager, Pwani University Bioscience Research Center, is one person who has guided us through the research, the methods of carrying out research, and she will always make sure that we're on the right track. My fellow Globe teacher, Mr. Richard Wema, who has helped us with all these projects. I also want to thank her. And not forgetting Professor Rebecca Boga and Dr. Rastilo. All those have been of help to us in our school, and we hope to keep working with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing presentation.
Well, you're wondering how we pick the people we take for our field trips?
Where the places that you picked for the students to go to?
Well, like we said in the presentation, that the field trips depends on what we are carrying out during that time. So like the trip we did on the last project, where we're looking at effects of poor waste management on the breeding of mosquitoes within Moroto slum, came out of a previous research project that we were doing for RCMRD Space Challenge, where we were covering the land use change within Mombasa County. So when the students visited the slum, they were able to notice on their own and came up with the two other projects that we did. So most of the time what we do, we look at the protocols that we are doing in that particular time. Then we go out and find out the right places to carry out the project. So far, since we started in 2019, our projects were mostly done within the Nyali County, and it's only this year and last year that we went out of the county after the identification of the areas by the students themselves.
Amazing. There are so many positive comments about your project in the chat. I hope you're able to follow along with that. Very interesting. Kudos to your team. Well done, Miss Beatrice. Your school is proud of you, and commendable work that you're doing. And I think the using the GLOBE protocols, great engagement, firsthand research, and experiential learning is an awesome comment also. Were there any specific questions that anyone would have for Miss Beatrice while she's here?
Well, let me also recognize the presence of my fellow GLOBE teachers who are around. I can see our pioneer teacher who actually started GLOBE in our school, Mr. Ken, is around. Thank you, Mr. Ken, for attending. I can see Mr. Mwema is right here with us. Mr. Nick is here. We thank you very much for attending. And Professor Suhaila Hashim, who has been our mentor throughout the years, is also here. Thank you very much, Professor Suhaila, and we hope to work with you. Some other people are also here, our friends, our schoolmates, high school schoolmates. Thank you very much for being here. And I hope that from this, we will be able to work to make Kenya a better place for students around. We're still looking for your questions. Now, from my last slide, I say that we want to reach out to many. We want to reach out to students, mostly from public schools, who are not able to get the kind of information our students in private schools and maybe international schools are able to get. So we are looking out for teachers who are around. Let us reach out so that we are able to share our findings. Let whatever we find from what we learn, we're able to share so that everyone else is able to use it. Because our entire goal, the last goal here, is to make the world a better place, right? So if we're making the world a better place, we are not going to zero graze within the area we are. So we are reaching out. Let's reach out. And I hope many of us will join hands so that this project can be able to be sustained within the schools, not only in Mombasa, but all over Kenya and in the long run in the world, right, Cassie?
Thank you again so much. Yes. All right. I have one last bit of information to share, and I'm not positive if all the members that are on today have had a chance to check out the Globe website with some updates. And so I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go on to the last part here. In this session, or the session that I recorded, Holly Cole and Kristen Weaver are explaining the different ways that you can take part as a Globe observer and what it really means to become a Globe observer versus a Globe teacher. So
at the moment, these functions are available in the United States. I don't know exactly how Globe will handle this internationally. I think they're just piloting it in the US for now. So when you go to join Globe, you can go to the Globe website, globe.gov, and there's the first tab on their menu is About/Join. And when you get there, go to create an account, and you get to see the different types of accounts that you can sign up for Globe. And it used to be that you could be a teacher, you could be a student, and you could be a citizen scientist. And the other categories were still are to an extent, gives you access to a community of people. Those were the main categories. But they've added this new category now that I think would be really useful to solar system ambassadors. And it's this informal educator volunteer coordinator category. And this is for any individual who leads programming in any capacity. So if you are leading corporate volunteer efforts, or you are, you're doing programming at a library or community center or anything like that, this category is for you. So you select that informal educator volunteer coordinator category, and you're going to get to this create an account page. At this point, you have two options. You can become a Globe educator, and they lump all the teachers and the informal educators into this Globe educator category, but just know that that applies to you. And when so to do that, you're going to be taking the Globe training. So once you take that training, you have access to all of the Globe protocols. Or you can choose to join as a citizen scientist with the Globe Observer app, which is the simplest way to get involved in Globe. So with that, you just have to sign up with an email address, and you can take the in-app training, and that's basically all there is to it. That gives you access to the 4 protocols that are inside the Globe Observer app, which are clouds, Mosquito Habitat Mapper, land cover, so it's on the land around you, and tree height. So I want to show you, there's a chart on that create an account page that tells you what you get for each type of account. And so here's that informal educator account. And what you see is with Globe Observer, you're going to be able to do those observations or make those observations that are inside the Observer, the basic function of the Observer app. And you'll be able to see your data and see other people's data. You'll be able to submit research if that's something you're interested in, create a team, and see your own observations. So those are all things you can do. As an informal educator or a teacher, you will have your own page on Globe for your organization. It will be called an informal education organization. So you can call it, Solar System Ambassador, and then fill in your name or whatever makes sense. If you have a program that you routinely do and you want to set this up for that program, you could set it up that way. So you name your informal education institution. You get your own page for that. So you have a landing page for your organization. And with that, you can create student accounts. These are anonymous accounts people can use to do observations within Globe under your guidance. So if you're working particularly with youth, out of school programming with youth, and you want to be very careful about privacy and anonymity, this is a really great thing for you. Your organization will appear on the Globe website, so anybody can find you. New people coming can see who you are, and you'll be able to collaborate with other people. Because it's on that website, you'll be able to make connections in the Globe community, which is extremely valuable. The Globe community is so supportive, and it's a wonderful community to be a part of, and so this gives you access to all of that. And then you can submit data for all of the Globe protocols, not just the 4 that are inside the app, but Globe has nearly 50 different types of observations you can make using scientific equipment with additional training. And so you have access to all of that. So you can do a wider range of programming if you choose to. So it's really exciting that this opportunity is there for informal educators now, just as of last month. Another thing Globe has done that I find really useful, especially if you're new to Globe, is this new user roadmap system. Globe has a lot of resources, but it's not always easy to navigate through the vast volume of materials and find exactly what you need. And so the Globe program set up this series of roadmaps just to tell you, here are the basic things you should be, or you could be doing for each type of membership. So here's the informal educators one, and it's kind of in this checklist format, which the type of person I am, I love seeing those checklists. So, you for each step, these are the things that you should do, required and optional tasks. And then these things down here are things that you could do if you choose to. You don't have to do all of it, but you have access to those things. And then the last one is an optional task that is completely up to you. So we have these roadmaps. Here's the citizen science roadmap, and there are fewer options on there. They have a little bit less access, that not everything's unlocked because you don't have all the training. But you have a lot of things you could do as a citizen scientist just registered through the Globe Observer app. And honestly, a lot of the communities you work with are going to be here in this category. The last thing I wanted to highlight on the Globe website is the tutorial center. And like I said, Globe has had a lot of training resources, but they've been in different places. And what they've done with this tutorial center is gather all those electronic resources together in one place and create, a series of not just links, but categories for you to go through and find those resources. So, you're ready to do more Globe than just the app. You want some protocol training. Well, there it is, under protocol training. Or you're a little confused about some of the data entry processes. There's the set of tutorials. So it's really nice that all of this is in one place now. I'm actually going to exit out of here and go to the Globe website and just show you where that is really quick. So on the Globe website, these resources are the ones I showed you first are under About, Join, and then you can learn about the program. There's new information there, Ready to Join, and this is where all the account types I showed you, and then the Create an Account page that I showed you are right here. The user roadmaps are under Training, and the tutorial center is under Training. And right now I'm not logged in, so I only have access to the public users. Once I log in and they see that, oh, you're a citizen scientist, I'll see the citizen science roadmap. And if you're already Globe trained as an informal educator, then you'll see the options for informal educators as well. So let me go back, and I wanted to show you a couple other resources that we have on the Observer site that I think you will find really valuable as country coordinator. On the Globe Observer site, observer.globe.gov, we have this toolkit for informal educators, and it's to give you material to help you go out and do your community events. And Kristen, I'm going to hand this off to you because Kristen did a lot of this work, so she can explain it better than I can.
Well, so yeah, there's the toolkit has some general information, but one of the new things that we're trying to roll out more of is sort of audience specific guides. So we have a pre-existing one that's for Girl Scouts that talks about how to use the 4 Globe Observer tools that doesn't include Eclipse because that's such a temporary one, but that kind of specifically for Girl Scout audiences and kind of tying into some of the things that Girl Scouts do. That one exists already. And then this library guide is one that's sort of new and in progress that you see on the left side there. And it has suggestions for specifically how you might adapt using the Globe Observer app with specifically library audiences. We're also working on one for camps that should be coming out in the next few months. I think that again is not some overlap certainly between these, but trying to get some audience specific ideas, things that might help you use it in those specific settings. And there is actually a 4-H one that's specifically clouds. That's a little bit older, so we just have clouds. So those are all in the toolkit for informal educators, as is some things specifically for Eclipse. The screenshot on the right there is from a presentation that you can use if you're talking to groups about preparing for the eclipse. It has sort of a background of how you can use the Globe Eclipse tool to measure air temperature and observe clouds, as well as sort of and how that works in the app, as well as some other ways you can observe and take observations during the eclipse. And it's there as a PDF, as a PowerPoint, as a Google Slides that you can make a copy of, so you can modify that, take the slides out, the bits and pieces that are useful to you. We have plans to do more of those. There will be one that's more focused on the science. Again, we're talking about the earth science aspects of it. We have right now a one-pager about some things you might see during the eclipse in terms of clouds and wind and air temperature. And we're constantly adding new resources as we develop them. And then we're also translating many of them. So the atmosphere one-pager is already in English and Spanish. This presentation here, the Globe Eclipse Preparing for 2023 and 2024, will be translated into Spanish, but we don't have that done quite yet. So that's all under this. If you go to the Globe Observer website, observer.globe.gov, and then lead a program, and the guides are under there, and then it's separated out by Toolkit. I think Holly's gonna show us there. So under the lead a program menu where you'll find some of these. So there's the eclipse and then the guides. You can also get to the eclipse information there. Though I thought I had changed out that graphic. I thought I'd put the new graphic on that page, which is interesting because I noticed that earlier today. And then under Do Globe Observer, also there's more eclipse resources more focused on specific, like how to do observations and sort of the mechanics for an individual observer.
Cassie,
I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm muted. No, I think that this has been a wonderful presentation today, and I really appreciate the fact that we've had very few presentations about the little voices, the young voices of Globe. And I think that Beatrice's talk today really filled that gap for us. So once again, Beatrice, I want to thank you so much for the work you're doing. I know you work with high school students all the way down to these little voices, and you've done a wonderful job. And I am looking forward to our next meeting.
Thank you, Rassi. Thank you, Cassie, and all us who are here. I really appreciate this opportunity. We are so many here, and we are going to make it better for the little ones and even the older ones. We look forward to greater presentations in future.
Thank you.
Liz was there. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
actually, yeah, Beatrice, I have a couple of just questions here about this. What you are doing is totally amazing, and it was a wonderful presentation. Had a lot of really interesting things in there, but I have some questions about some of those things. To get First of all, I would like to know how often you meet as this club thing. How often do you meet with these kids in an after school kind of a setting like that? I want to know what got you started, and to make the leap from having maybe students gather data and use that as a classroom activity into doing it as a kind of a club after school kind of a thing. And then I also am curious about any hints that you could share with us about making that connection to the community. Going to the governor's office to do presentations and sharing that with the from that level on down to the people who live down the street, sharing that information. That's so powerful. And I wanted to find out if you have any hints about that you could share, that other people can do those same kind of things.
Well, first, like I said, it's a club and we only have 1 day for clubs. But our school gives us opportunity to have more time when we are carrying out our projects at a time when we have a lot to do. There are days when we go out for a whole day, depending on our program. Yeah, so once we identify what we want to do in that particular term, then we write out a program. But our regular meetings are only 1 hour a week, where we meet different groups of students. The senior school that starts from grade 7 to grade 13 can only meet on Thursdays. And the younger team we have 2 days of meeting. We meet them in groups. We have the younger team who have meetings on Mondays. Then another team have meetings on Wednesdays. So the schedule is only for 1 hour a week. Now, it was quite easy for us to be able to access these offices because the projects that we were doing were, I would say that there were problems that were on the ground. So things that when we went to the governor's office, we were looking at land use change. At this time, the country is trying to make so many changes, like the roads are being built up, we are upgrading slums, new houses are being built. So this was a reality, something that is really happening. It's not that's just something that we watch on TV. Like me, I felt so nice because it's something that I just watch on TV and I think it's not happening. So when we started this project with ASIM at this Space Challenge, we were able to go to the ground and see what is happening. Then through what we gathered, we were able to get into the governor's office and ask them, what are you planning? What are you going to do? And like our concern was the issues of waste management. We were also concerned about the areas where new houses were coming up and they were cutting down some trees. And we were happy to realize that there's actually a 10% rule that any place where buildings are being brought up, they have to have an area of 10% should be covered by trees. So those are some of very, very interesting projects that we did because it was covering what was on the ground. Now, onto your other question, how we are able to make the children kind of embrace this kind of projects. Like we said, first, we have to train them through the protocols. The protocols have been made in a way that they are very simple, where students can be able to pick it from what they already know to what they do not know. So we simplify the protocols. There are videos, there are stories in the Globe. We can get them through this Globe site. There are stories. So we take a whole time doing this as we prepare them for a project that we have planned during that time. So once they have learned the theory, going down to the ground now to see the practicals, it becomes very real for the students and they always want to know more, especially the youngest one. They will always want to know more. They want to know what is happening. They are the ones like the students we have right now in grade 4. Last term, they would come in the morning with a container with the mosquito larva inside. Miss, I found this at home. Which kind of mosquitoes are these? Can we check them? And it is class time. So they create their own time, like break time. They want to look at the kind of mosquito larvae that they brought from home. So making it that way, make the children own the projects. And they do it even in their own free time. You will receive messages even in the middle of the night. They share messages that this is what I found out, Miss. This is what I found out. And it's very interesting. Please. I hope I've answered your question, please.
Oh, you did. Great. Yes, thank you. That's amazing. Good for you guys.
Well, it was exciting, and I know that this won't be the last time you'll be sharing with us, Beatrice. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this month. And be sure to watch the Globe Mission Mosquito webpage for our next webinar in September. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.